Mary, Queen of Scots, is one of history's most fascinating and tragic figures. Born into a life of privilege, she became a queen as an infant and spent her life caught in the tumultuous tides of political and religious conflict. Her story is one of love, power, betrayal, and a struggle for the throne, ultimately ending in her dramatic execution. Mary's life, marked by personal and political turmoil, remains a captivating chapter in the annals of history. Mary Stuart was born on December 8, 1542, at Linlithgow Palace in Scotland to James V of Scotland and his French wife, Mary of Guise. Just 6 days after her birth, her father died, making the infant Mary the Queen of Scots. As a baby, she was the central figure in a country divided by power struggles and religious conflict. To secure her safety and strengthen alliances, Mary was sent to France at the age of 5. She grew up in the French court, surrounded by luxury and steeped in French culture. In 1558, at the age of 16, she married the Dauphin of France, Francis, cementing the alliance between Scotland and France. The following year, Francis ascended the French throne as Francis II, making Mary both the Queen of Scotland and the Queen Consort of France. Mary's happiness in France was short-lived. In 1560, Francis II died, leaving Mary a widow at just 18. Bereft of power in France and facing a fragile situation in Scotland, Mary returned to her homeland in 1561. Scotland had changed dramatically during her absence. The Protestant Reformation had taken hold, and her half-brother, James Stuart, Earl of Moray, was the leading Protestant reformer. As a devout Catholic in a predominantly Protestant Scotland, Mary's reign was fraught with religious tension. She attempted to navigate this delicate balance, allowing Protestant worship while maintaining her own Catholic faith. However, her Catholicism made her a focal point of suspicion and opposition among Protestant nobles and the English crown. In 1565, Mary married her cousin, Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley. The union was initially seen as a way to strengthen her claim to the English throne, as both Mary and Darnley were great-grandchildren of Henry VII of England. However, the marriage quickly turned sour. Darnley's arrogance and ambition alienated many, and his demand for power strained his relationship with Mary. The situation worsened with the murder of Mary's secretary and confidant, David Rizzio, in 1566. Darnley, feeling excluded from power, conspired with Protestant nobles to murder Rizzio, dragging him from Mary's side and stabbing him to death in her presence. This shocking event deepened the rift between Mary and Darnley. In 1567, Darnley was murdered under mysterious circumstances at Kirk o' Field. The house where he was staying was blown up, and his strangled body was found in the garden. Suspicion quickly fell on James Hepburn, Earl of Bothwell, a powerful noble and close associate of Mary. Just 3 months after Darnley's death, Mary married Bothwell, sparking outrage and rebellion among the Scottish nobility. The marriage to Bothwell, widely believed to be implicated in Darnley's murder, led to a rebellion by the Scottish nobles. Mary and Bothwell were defeated at the Battle of Carberry Hill, and Mary was imprisoned at Lochleven Castle. In July 1567, she was forced to abdicate in favour of her infant son, James VI. In 1568, Mary escaped from Lochleven and attempted to regain her throne. Her forces were defeated at the Battle of Langside, forcing her to flee to England, seeking protection from her cousin, Queen Elizabeth Var. However, Elizabeth saw Mary as a significant threat to her own throne, given Mary's Catholic faith and strong claim to the English crown. Mary's arrival in England began a long period of captivity that lasted 19 years. During this time, she was moved between various castles and manors under the watchful eyes of Elizabeth's agents. Despite her confinement, Mary remained a symbol of Catholic resistance to Protestant rule in England, and numerous plots were hatched to free her and place her on the English throne. The most significant of these conspiracies was the Babington Plot of 1586. A group of Catholic nobles, led by Anthony Babington, planned to assassinate Elizabeth and crown Mary as Queen. The plot was uncovered by Elizabeth's spy master, Sir Francis Walsingham, who had intercepted and deciphered coded letters between Mary and the conspirators. This provided the evidence needed to charge Mary with treason. In October 1586, Mary was brought to trial for her involvement in the Babington Plot. She denied the charges but was found guilty and sentenced to death. Elizabeth hesitated to sign the death warrant, knowing that executing a fellow monarch set a dangerous precedent and fearing the backlash from Catholic powers in Europe. However, political pressure and the perceived threat to her life led Elizabeth to reluctantly authorize the execution. On February 8, 1587, Mary, Queen of Scots, was executed at Fotheringhay Castle. She faced her death with dignity, dressed in red, the colour of Catholic martyrs. Her execution was a dramatic and poignant end to a life marked by power struggles, intrigue, and tragedy. Mary, Queen of Scots, remains a complex and polarizing figure in history. To some, she is a tragic heroine, a martyr who suffered for her faith and her rightful claim to the throne. To others, she is seen as a reckless and politically naive queen whose decisions led to her downfall. Her life story, filled with romance, betrayal, and political maneuvering, continues to captivate historians and the public alike. Mary's son, James VI of Scotland, succeeded Elizabeth as James the Moon of England, uniting the crowns of England and Scotland and bringing a semblance of the union Mary had long hoped for. Her life and death had profound implications for the course of British history, influencing the religious and political landscape for generations to come. Mary, Queen of Scots, lived a life of dramatic highs and lows, navigating the perilous waters of 16th century politics and religion. Her story is a testament to the enduring power of personal and political ambition, and the often tragic consequences of the struggle for power.